vanilla. Hi guys, it's Shalimar. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Recently I've been doing some list videos, which y'all seem to love so much. And yes, I said y'all. I've been watching Honey Boo Boo today. Don't judge. But you guys seem to really like them. It's a good way to get a rundown of things really quickly. And since I did my chocolate video recently, links up here, and my white floral videos, links up here, a lot of people said, do vanilla, so let's do vanilla. Let's talk about 10 vanilla fragrances that I wear and think are really cool, and at the end I'm also going to give you 3 vanillas which I think are overpriced and underwhelming. Not to end negatively, but just because. So the first one I want to talk about is Memoirs of a Trespasser by Imaginary Authors. This one's on my list because vanilla can be quite versatile if it's done in the right way, and this one is a different type of vanilla. It's Madagascan, which is a very typically extra sweet type of vanilla, but it's paired together with some resins, and mainly it's paired together with a real intensely scratchy oak note. So it's a very woody, dusty kind of vanilla. It's not all about cupcakes. Vanilla doesn't always have to be about cupcakes. No, it doesn't. You will see in this video. But that's why it's on my list. I love the brand anyway, and I wanted to put them first. These aren't in any order, by the way. They're just kind of reeling off. So the next fragrance is one that this list would not be complete without. How could I not put it on there? It's Hypnotic Poison by Dior. This one features a lot of vanilla, but it's also paired together with some coconut, some almond, and some spices that kind of make it feel a little bit like root beer in a strange way. It's extremely famous. I mean, a lot of people have smelled this one, I'm guessing. It's the kind of standout one from the line that sells like hotcakes. Not mentioning Midnight Poison because it makes me cry. Oh, I could have put Midnight Poison on this list. That's got vanilla in it too. Oh. Okay, well, we'll just go with it. Hypnotic Poison. It's a very unusual vanilla. It's very cozy. It's a fuzzy fragrance. It's warm. It's very wintry. It's spicy. It's just a really cool one that's really stood the test of time, even though it's been reformulated a bazillion times. Never mind. The next one on my list is The Architects Club by Arquiste. Really getting into this brand of late. Really like them. Keep your eyes peeled, because as of this moment I should be doing a collaboration and reviewing this fragrance with Peter from Fragrance View. It's in the works, so keep your eyes peeled. But this one is on my list because I describe this as being a cold vanilla. Vanilla is usually cozy, it's sweet, it's familiar, it makes you think of childhood, ice cream, stuff like that. But this fragrance is themed on a group of architects drinking cocktails in a club in Mayfair in London. So in this one it's paired together with leather. It's got a cigarette puff smoke accord in it, and it's got some spices in the top, and it's got the most expensive vanilla you can find in a fragrance, which is Mexican. Just pro tip, just useless bit of information. But yeah, Architects Club is quite simplistic, quite cold. It's interesting how you can make vanilla cold in a fragrance, but they managed to do it with this one for sure. So that's why it's on my list. The next fragrance on my list is called Felonilla by Perfumery Generale. It's meant to be feline vanilla. They see it as a grown-up vanilla, and I guess it kind of is, because in this fragrance it's paired together with quite a lot of iris. So vanilla and iris are amazing together. It's actually orris that's in it, but it's a really interesting make-up-y, almost vintage-like vanilla. That I don't know if it's feline, but it's definitely very sensual and kind of come hither. I use that word a lot, but it's a kind of luxurious, sultry type of vanilla fragrance, and it's really gorgeous. Check it out if you can. The next vanilla on my list is Vanilla Fields by Cote. This one is a huge throwback for me. I remember being 15, 14, and there was one girl that used to live near me that used to work near me also, and sometimes she would be in front of me when we left for work together. And this one just trailed behind her in such a beautiful way. It's very retro. I'm sure it's been reformulated now, but it smelled different. It wasn't a cakey vanilla. It was almost a crisp floral vanilla. And I hope you guys are playing the shot game, by the way, like you did with the chocolate one. And I hope some of y'all are drunk. I said y'all again. Oh my god, what am I doing? Stop. But yeah, this is vanilla on a budget. It's a really good one. It's very different. You can still find it online. I don't see it in shops anymore. It was one of those drugstore vanillas that you could get for really, really cheap. But it's definitely worth a smell if you're on a budget. I would kill to have a bottle of it again, because I've only got a memory of what it is. But this list wouldn't be complete without it because of the memory connections. So, Vanilla Fields by Cote. The next one is a fragrance that this list, again, would not be complete without. It would be a crime against Perfumery if I didn't mention it. And it is Shalimar by Gillen. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance, made in 1928, still flies off of the shelves in various forms. It's really more about amber, this fragrance, but vanilla is actually an ingredient of the amber accord. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but amber is actually made up of vanilla, patchouli and labdanum, and sometimes they change things out, but it is actually centered around vanilla. It's paired together with some leather, it's got some animalic notes, it's got some lemon in it as well, but it really is one of the most beautiful vanilla clouds. It's like wearing a cloud all around your person when you wear it. And it's absolutely stunning. If you haven't tried it, you're crazy, go and try it. Because Shalimar is the ultimate vintage vanilla fragrance, ever, for me. The next one on the list is Un Bois Vanille, Vanille I think the way is to say it, by Serge Lutens. I don't know if you're realising a theme here, but the types of vanilla fragrances that I personally like are oriental vanillas as opposed to gourmand side. So this one's really interesting. It really smells foodie. It has licorice in it, it has coconut in it, it has a kind of spicy, foodie, almost cookie biscuity type of feeling. So it is really gourmand. But it opens kind of a little bit rough and spicy, but dries down to this amazingly, gorgeously smooth vanilla fragrance. And it's a really nice niche vanilla that I love, so that's why it's on my list. The next one is a staple on my list. I can't be without this fragrance. I think it's amazing, it's unusual, and it is Dior Addict. I remember my mum having this fragrance in its original formula and just being so overwhelmed with how strong it was. It was one of those ones that just performed, it was worth the money basically. It was just a super long lasting, super projecting, one spritz kind of things. Yes, it's been reformulated, I have the new formula, I still think it's great. In this one, the vanilla is paired together with some kind of citruses, but a lot of, it feels kind of like exotic, almost incensey woods as well. So it's definitely an unusual fragrance, it's definitely unique, this fragrance, and it wears like a dream when you wear it. It's one of those kind of compliment getters. It's a I'm going to be noticed when I wear this types of fragrances. It's just unbelievable and it's really hard to describe, but I have reviewed it, as many of the others, so go and check them out if you care to. The next one is by Terry Mugler and it's Alien Essence Absolute. This one's on the list because, for me, it is by far the sweetest version of Alien there is. I don't own it, but I have worn it and smelled it multiple times. I also own their Taste of Fragrance one, but that's more a caramel version of Alien. This one is really, really sweet. It has tons of vanilla in it, along with the traditional or signature sambac jasmine type feeling with the white amber. And it's got so much vanilla in it that it actually starts to smell like doll heads. I know that sounds really bizarre, but that's the way I describe it when I talk about this fragrance. It's almost like a Play-Doh, playful, doll-heady type vanilla version of Alien. And it's super strong as well. Man alive, it performs like a beast. So that's why it's on my list. On to the last one. So the last one on my list, and doesn't mean that it's the top, it's just number 10 or number 1 if you were counting that way, is Cashmere or Cashmere by Chopin. I've only worn this fragrance once or twice, but it does stick out in my head as being a really cool vanilla. It's really worth putting it on this list because it's more of a vintage style vanilla. It has some resins, it has a bit of roughness, it's a bit balsamic. It's not, again, a cupcake, easy route vanilla. It's really affordable now as well. So if you want a vanilla that's a little bit more vintage, it fits in with Shalimar. It comes from an older time where I think it was more about florals in, you know, the 80s and stuff like that. But this fragrance, yeah, it's a really cool one, so go and check it out. Which leads me onto my non-negative ending of the video, but I want to mention 3 vanillas that I've smelled before which were really underwhelming. I don't like to end on a bad note, but hey, I didn't want to start on a bad note either, so what am I supposed to do? The first one, to me, is so super overpriced for such an underwhelming fragrance, and it's Sublime Vanille by Creed. This thing is really, really expensive. I've reviewed it before, and the disappointment you could see on my face. It's literally just like a smooth, ice creamy vanilla essence was added to perfumer's alcohol. Really characterless, really underwhelming, really not strong, and not even long lasting. It sucked. The next one is one that gets real love in the fragrance community. I see a lot of good reviews about it. I got myself a sample so I could try it, and again, completely underwhelmed. And it's Vanille Noir by Yves Rocher. The reason I'm putting it on my list is because where is the noir? There is no noir about this fragrance at all. It was, again, another one-noted vanilla fragrance that smelled like ice cream. It was very simple. It was very just meh. I mean, in my head, I can't even tell the difference from what I remember smelling between the Creed and this one. It was just way too simple for me. You should just get vanilla essence and put it on you and it would probably be better. I know, sorry guys. And the last one I want to put on my Memoirs list is Kir Beluga by Gillen. I recently discovered this one. I have worn it many times. It was meant to be a leathery fragrance, but however, it was more focused on vanilla. There was a lot of things that were quite cool about it, but for a luxury line from Gillen, because it is in their L'Art et la Matière line, which is really expensive. I think it's £175 for 75 mils. It was quite underwhelming. It was beautiful, but overpriced. And that's the thing that gripes me the most, when something is really overpriced. Anyway, I don't like to end on a bad note. But I hope you guys like this list. I'm Archibald. Click my logo down there to subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more things for you to watch, if you so care to do so. Bye.